The Karl Truman Law Office is dedicated to giving back to our community, especially for those who have served. Joining me is attorney and veteran Karl Truman to discuss his support for the Bluegrass Honor Flight. Thanks again for stopping by today, and also thank you so much for your service.
Oh, you're welcome, and good morning. And great to be able to be out here to show some support to Bluegrass Honor Flight. I served on the board of directors for many years, and so I even wore my Bluegrass Honor Flight shirt today to show some support for them. It's always a great event.
Absolutely, and we've been, talking about this all morning long. And so, how does your law office really give back to our community, especially our veterans?
Well, one of my passions, and passion of our whole team, is service to the community. We learn through service to our country, service to the community, and giving back, because I think it's so important to, well, first of all, the Army was good to me, and so many honored veterans that I've served with and have known since then. We've got to show our support for all of them, and so veteran causes have been one of my passions, among other local causes. But we just think it's really important, and I started just adding up over the years. I mean, and over what we've given back, and I was even surprised myself. I added up over $1 million that the Karl Truman Law Office has given back to the community. So yeah, I think it's important for us all.
Absolutely, and you are a retired lieutenant colonel from the U.S. Army. And so I was looking at your website before we got talking here today, and you had two goals in life: was one to be a lawyer and one to be in the Army. So why were you just called to really do both?
Well, I think it's part of service because you have the discipline, the focus, and the passion in the military, and same with litigating a case in court. I mean, it's the same type of almost a warrior mentality to want to be able to provide for others, really. Yeah,
to protect and to serve. And so why was it so important for you to also get involved with the Bluegrass Honor Flight?
Well, again, I was on the board for many years, and when obviously the focus at that point was still World War II veterans. And it's just such a great to see the joy on these veterans' faces, to have the camaraderie again. And the first time, of course, every veteran has a guardian. In the first flight that I was on, I was a guardian for a airman who was shot down over Germany and spent 22 months in a German POW camp, and to listen to his stories. And it's just treasures of history that we have to cherish and acknowledge.
Yeah. Have you just been on that one flight? Have you gone on multiple since?
Yeah, we went. Yeah, I went on several of them, and it was always a rewarding experience.
Yeah. What would you say is like a most memorable moment from being on these flights?
Oh gosh, just the joy and emotion, and nobody joins the military for recognition, but as Jeff pointed out earlier, I mean, these Vietnam veterans returning that didn't have any type of recognition in that. So every time I meet a Vietnam veteran, I always shake their hand and say, "Welcome home," because they didn't get that. But it's just so many emotions, and listening to a World War II veteran get on the plane and say, "Well, I've taken off in a plane before, but I've never landed in one," because he was a paratrooper.
Because you jump out of it.
Right. So just so many stories like that living men trying to preserve history.
I think and something that we haven't touched on yet is once you come back to the airport, you're at the airport in Washington, D.C., everyone gets a manila envelope, and those are filled with handwritten letters like they had when they were in the war. So tell me about that kind of interaction too.
Well, it really brings a tear to your eye to see some of the letters that the school children write, and thanking them and acknowledging them, and it's just an emotionally draining day, but so uplifting at the same time.
Yeah, and then the welcome home.
Yeah, oh yes. Yeah.
I mean, thousands of people show up and show out for that. So what is that experience like, truly getting that welcome home?
Well, one of the flights, we gather everybody when they get off the plane so they can walk together. But these veterans, they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know that all these people were waiting on me, and some of them were getting kind of grouchy, like, let me out of here.
Home.
Yeah, let me out of here. And then once they saw all the welcoming committee and welcome all the flags and also in the Sons of the American Revolution, for them to come out in their uniforms, it's just such an emotionally uplifting experience.
So what would you tell someone if someone was interested in being involved with this, whether that's being on the board or even just being a guardian? What would you say? Why to be a part of this?
Well, definitely it's a great organization to support, volunteer. You can go on their website and you can volunteer for different things. They always need people for the ground crew to coordinate in and out, and then being able to be a guardian, particularly if it's a family member, you can sign up to be their guardian and spend the day with them. Like I say, I've been a guardian a few times, and it's just such a great experience. And I've talked to so many veterans that at first they really didn't want to go, and then somebody twisted their arm, and okay, and then they were all like, such a tremendous day.
Well, and a lot of those Vietnam veterans are waiting years to be on this trip. So I'm sure it's just like a joyous experience for them. Like, finally, I get to board that plane and take this memorable flight. Well,
and many honor flight chapters just shut down when they no longer had World War II veterans. And so it's such a great thing that Bluegrass Honor Flight's been able to carry on with, Korean and Vietnam War veterans. So yeah, because a lot of other cities don't have that.
That's crazy that they would just shut it down when we need to honor our veterans each and every day.
Yeah,
But we're glad that the Bluegrass is here and very strong. I mean, the waiting list is so long, but it's for those like you that support it and continue to take these flights and, of course, donate back. So thank you so much for stopping by today.
There's so many good veteran causes to support, but we got to support who we can.
Absolutely. Karl, thank you so much for stopping by. And so again, to learn more, just go to trumanlaw.com.